It's time for another doubleheader in IPL 2021 as we start off with an afternoon contest. It's Mumbai versus Rajasthan today in Delhi, where it expected to produce another run fest. After a disappointing start, Sanju Samson's side certainly took all the criticisms to the chin. They bounced back in style against Kolkata as they registered an emphatic win. While defending champions have also surprisingly struggled due to some reason, Mumbai would be raring to go with some winning momentum going into a crucial phase of the season. Both the sides would certainly look to start their Delhi leg on a positive note. It's Sanju Samson versus Rohit Sharma tonight. Let's see who comes out on top. Hello and a warm welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us once again here on Sports Tiger. What a game we witnessed yesterday. It was absolutely sensational stuff from Chennai Super Kings to win that game against Hyderabad. They are now 5-5, an absolute thriller, something that we did not expect from a franchise like Chennai Super Kings. They struggled a lot in 2020 season, but they are looking altogether a different side in 2021 season. And what do we have today? It's of course Rajasthan versus Mumbai, the first of two games which will be played on Thursday, of course. So a lot to look forward to because Rajasthan and Mumbai, both sides are actually struggling to get their best 11, to get their best form. And let's see what happens today. But to discuss all of it, I've of course been joined in with our cricket expert, none other than Monty Barnister, joining us all the way from UK. Monty, firstly, of course, good afternoon from India. Good morning if you are, of course, you are in UK. So what are the initial thoughts? Something we did not expect happened yesterday. One-sided performance. Everybody would have expected Chennai Super Kings to start on a good note to win that game. But that ended up being a one-side affair. Monty, you are not audible. I think there is some issue. Monty, I'm not able to hear you properly as of now. So, till the time Monty is fixing his network, we will try to give you some updates, of course, and that is a big game awaits us. It's, of course, Rajasthan and Mumbai. Sanju Samson, the side won their last game, of course, against Kolkata Knight Riders. It was a good performance and they would want to continue that performance as they touch down Delhi. And, of course, Mumbai, the defending champions, 5-time champions, is very important for them to start on a good note in Delhi. A new venue. And new venue awaits a lot of surprise and a lot of excitement for the Mumbai fans as well. But it's very important for Mumbai and Rohit Sharma to get back into the best of forms. And it will be very crucial game for both the sides. Monty is back. So Monty, am I audible? Yeah, I am not able to hear you at the moment. I think there is slight issue there. But I'm not able to hear you at the moment. But even then, I am here to entertain you guys, of course. When it comes to these two sides, last 5 performances, 4 have went in the favor of Rajasthan Royals. And that speaks volume about the character they show against the franchise, which has won 5-time champions, of course. So it's very important. आज काफ़ी मज़ा आने वाला है. संजू सैमसन से एक अच्छी उम्मीद होगी, क्रिस मॉरिस से अच्छी उम्मीद होगी. राजस्थान के थोड़ी दिक्कतें अभी भी मौजूद. आप अगर देखें उनकी साइड के अंदर सिर्फ 4 ओवरसीज प्लेयर्स बचे हैं. अगर आप देखें उनके पास में क्रिस्टोफर मॉरिस हैं, देन ऑफ कोर्स दे हैव मुस्तफिजुर रहमान, डेविड मिलर एंड ऑफ कोर्स जॉस बटलर. ये उनके 4 ओवरसीज बचे हैं. यहाँ से कोई इंजर्ड हो जाता है तो काफ़ी दिक्कतें पैदा हो जाएगी, क्योंकि चाहेंगे कि जितनी जल्दी अपनी बैलेंस साइड ला पाएं, जितनी जल्दी एक और ओवरसीज अपनी साइड में लेकर आ पाएं, और इन ऑल एक अच्छी शेप निकल के आएगी इस साइड की. तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट उनके लिए रहने वाला है. जहाँ तक बात करी जाए मुंबई की, तो मुंबई के पास सूर्य कुमार यादव, ईशान किशन वगैरह सारे हैं, तो but it's very important for them to come back into the best of forms because रोहित शर्मा और क्विंटन डिकॉक अगर आप चाहते हो कि ये दोनों पे प्रेशर इतना ज़्यादा ना रहे, तो आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा जो फोकस है वो उनसे हटाना पड़ेगा, फोकस थोड़ा सा डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा। हेड टू हेड की जहाँ तक बात करी जाए, 25 गेमों में 12-12 जीत चुके हैं, एंड मॉन्टी इज बैक फॉर द थर्ड
Can you hear
टाइम।
me?
Now I can hear you. Yes, of course I
Okay,
can hear
brilliant.
you. So welcome, Monty. I think this is a good time for us to start the conversation. I'll probably start with a game which happened yesterday between Chennai and Hyderabad. We all expected Chennai to win that game, but probably not in the fashion as they did. It was just a one-sided affair which went in the favor of Chennai Super Kings. So I need to understand a couple of things from you. One, what is going right for Chennai? And at the second, what is going wrong for David Warner? Because it's 6-1-5 for Hyderabad, 6-5-1 for, of course, Chennai. So it's just opposite when it comes to the points table. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the game was lost when David Warner didn't look to attack the spinners. He should have taken the risk. Him scoring, let's say, I think 57 or 55 balls. You look at 120 balls. It's about getting the runs to 180. It's not about an individual batting the whole team. And there's going to be times where that's how teams got to operate. To beat Chennai, you have to attack their spinners in the middle overs. That's where MS Dhoni is at his best. He knows how to stranglehold the team with the spinners. He doesn't mind. He's such a clever operator. He probably didn't want David Warner to get out. He's thinking this is great.
Yeah.
He's only taking singles. He can't look to hit the spinners. Keep him in as long as we can because 57 or 55 balls, 10 overs for 57 runs. That's like perfect scenario for Chennai, and it puts pressure on all the other batters in for the next 60 balls. How do they get to 170? You look at what they scored. They scored 120 runs in the next 60 balls, so they performed so well. It was just David Warner just took up so many balls and he put so much pressure on Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Absolutely, it is putting some pressure on Hyderabad and putting a pressure by a margin because they are looking in all sorts of trouble. Monty, they have been able to win just one game out of the 6 that they have played, and it's very important for them to come back on the track. Otherwise, it will be very late for a side like Sunrisers Hyderabad, who entertains us in almost every season they play, to even be close to playoffs. Let aside being in playoffs, being even close to playoffs will be very difficult for Hyderabad. But let's speak about today's game, Monty. The first of 2 games which will be played. Firstly, did you expect that Thursday will treat you and everybody with double header?
No, not absolutely not. I'm normally looking forward to 3 p.m. That's how we structure our day here. We get up a couple of hours early, go to the gym, get all our work done. Working hours start here at 7 a.m. instead of 9 p.m. By 3 p.m., we're ready to watch the IPL. But you've treated us, you're spoiling us in India, and we are absolutely loving it.
Absolutely. Monday, Sanju Samson against Rohit Sharma, a rivalry that we would want to see. Though we cannot say Sanju Samson, Rohit Sharma the rivalry, but of course, when it comes to Rajasthan and Mumbai, the rivalry is still there because it's 12 on 12. If you see, these two sides have played against each other 25 times. 12 have went in favor of Mumbai Indians, 12 have gone in favor of Rajasthan Royals. So it's equal. And from last 5 games, Rajasthan seems to be performing really well against Mumbai Indians. So what do you think? What are your initial thoughts?
Well, I think the likes of, Gopal, the leg spinner from Rajasthan Royals, he's got a terrific, record against, Rohit Sharma, even Quentin Decock. I think it's just run a ball. He's going to be a key factor. If you can get some of the top order out, that could be also a potential threat. But also Rahul, man, Rahul is bowling beautiful this year. He's like their top wicket taker. And again, as much as I talk about it, IPL now is beginning from the high arm tall bowlers. It's that time after a couple of weeks, it's shifting towards the spinners now. In the middle overs is where the game is won and lost. If you go after the spinners, then you can post a huge total. But if you can, like yesterday, how Dhoni did, Rohit Sharma, the hitman, he may even do it again. He knows that, the likes of Sanju Samson is under pressure. He is the captain of the team. He has scored 100. But if he scores another one, then who knows? Rajasthan Royals may even win today.
Absolutely. Who knows? Sanju Samson needs to step up and needs to step up fast. Otherwise, it will become very, very difficult for a side like Rajasthan Royals because when it comes to winning three games on three, it becomes very difficult for them to do so. But if it is like you need to win three games in, say, five games you play, it is comparatively easy for Rajasthan Royals. A big update coming up, Monty. I will tell it to you and everybody who is watching the show. Of course, Rasi Vender Dusen, who was the replacement of Ben Stokes, has arrived in India and he is serving his quarantine as of now and will be joining the team Rajasthan Royals very shortly. How it is it a good sign for Rajasthan because as of now they just have four overseas players. One is, of course, Mustafizur Rahman. Then you have Chris Morris. Then you have Josh Butler and David Miller. So any of them gets injured, and it becomes a difficulty for Rajasthan Royals.
Well, absolutely, and I think this is going to be the skill of Kumara Sangakkara. They managed to get a win without their the best overseas players. So you can
Yeah.
see the way Kumara Sangakkara is manufacturing this team, trying to give different roles to the team and the whole 11, trying to get them over the line. This is going to be the challenge for them. So it's highly impressive. First year in his reign as an IPL coach. He's doing great things. You look at other teams, you take a couple of their main overseas players out of the equation,
Yeah.
they would not know, how to sort of, get the team together. Kumara Sangakkara in his first year is doing a terrific job at Rajasthan Royals.
Absolutely. Inclusion of Kumar Sangakkara as head of operations has definitely helped a side like Rajasthan Royals. How much does it help in the coming time? That's the question that they need to answer. What is on the show today? I think let's see that because just 6 minutes to the toss. So what are the things that we will actually be looking forward to? Probable playing 11, of course. Players to watch out for. Then we have pitch and toss update, playing 11, and of course, fantasy guide. So, a lot to look forward to. How about we start with probable playing 11? Who are those 11 players from both sides that we expect today to play? So, probable playing 11 on your screen, and that is, of course, we will be discussing from Monty Paji. Monty, any changes that you may expect from this side? Rohit Sharma, Quentin Decock, we still expect that Mumbai Indians will be believing in a player like Quentin Decock ahead of Chris Lynn, who performed really well in their first game against Royal Challengers Bangalore. Ended up hitting 49, but hasn't been a part of the playing 11 since then. Then, of course, Surya Kumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, Kieron Pollard. As you mentioned, Rahul Chahar seems to be doing really well. And then, of course, Jayant Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, and Trent Bolt. Now, Monty, the question comes, can we expect Ishan Kishan to still have his place in the side? One. And second, is Quinton de Kock the best option to go ahead with, or side should think about Chrislin?
Well, I think in this match particular, they should keep Quinton de Kock in the team. I think the left-right combination works really well. Ishan Kishan should keep playing. Loyalty I think goes a long way. Players respond really well when you keep playing them, and they know they're not playing very well. But one thing we haven't, I think, touched upon is Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt. Both of their
Yeah.
record against the likes of Sanju Samson, even Dubey, some of their sort of Rajasthan Royal batters is tremendous. They can't. It's a runner ball even with them, and even at the death overs, they don't seem to get these guys away. So this game is going to be very interesting to see how Rajasthan Royals, cope with the death bowling of Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt. So in my opinion, I think the likes of Gopal, we don't see him in the 11 there, and that could be a huge miss if he's not playing today.
Monty, who do you replace Shreyas Gopal with? Because if you see Josh Butler, Yashasvi Jaiswal, they will definitely be playing. Sanju Samson is also expected. Shivam Dubey seems to be performing really well for the side. You have to play David Warner because you just have David Miller. Sorry, you need to play him because you just have four overseas players. Then of course Rian Barak, Chris Morris, you have paid 16.25 CR. You will be playing him. And then of course Rahul Tewatia, Jaydev Unatka, Chetan Sakaria. Where does Shreyas Gopal actually play in this 11? Who will you replace him with?
Well, this is a really interesting question because when I look at that lineup, I just think, well, we can't find him a spot. All the three, Rahul, Jadev, and Chetan are doing really well. So how do we get him in the team? And sometimes this is where I think in the IPL, if you look at head to head, there's certain players would play maybe the one-off game or play against a particular team, and this is that opportunity where maybe this is a time where you think, actually, Gopal's got a great record, against the likes of Rohit Sharma and Quentin Decock. We may need to play him. We know the game is for fine margins. The game or the tournament, where it has to be won by one run. And it could be that decision where, let's hope Rajasthan Royals are not sort of thinking, well, maybe we should have played Gopal because he's got a great record against Mumbai Indians.
Well, absolutely. If Gopal comes into the side, I think Monty is absolutely right. He can trouble the likes of Rohit Sharma. He can trouble the likes of Quentin Decock because he has done it in past and he can do it again. Monty, if we actually see one more name in Mumbai Indians, his name is Hardik Pandya. He's not performing this season. There is something wrong with Hardik Pandya because he is just batting. That is still understandable seeing the workload management of Mumbai Indians. But what has happened to his batting? He is just not able to convert his starts, and at times it is becoming difficult for Hardik Pandya to even cross that 10 mark.
I think Hardik Pandya's form kind of dropped a little bit was when MIvsRR bowled that beautiful, Google, but he gave it air. He said, "Go on, hit me for a six. It's the first ball. I back to get you out." And on a slightly helpful surface, yeah, he got out. And it kind of starts, you start thinking, well, am I the type of cricketer where I need to bowl? Do I need to bowl, bat and field? Like Ravindra Jadeja, the 3D cricketer. I think Hardik Pandya suits that style. He needs to bowl, he needs to bat, he needs to field. And that helps the batting. If you put all the pressure on one skill, and he's not going to perform, then you're going to think, where does he add value? He may add value in the field, but we really want him to hit boundaries. So he may need to get back bowling again because it just takes the pressure off his batting.
Monty, because it's fair to say that as much as we rate fielding in cricket, it cannot be a primary role in the team. It can always be the secondary role, but the primary role still remains either bowling or the batting. And he's not doing bowling, so he needs to contribute with the bat. And he's playing at number 5 and still not probably contributing what is required. And that it actually puts pressure on Kieron Pollard. It actually puts pressure on Krunal Pandya to score those runs in the final overs. Moni, what do you think? Where should Hardik Pandya bat in this playing 11? Is number 5 the best option, or probably he should move ahead of Ishan Kishan, probably come at number 4 and probably use his skills as much as he can, get some more overs to play?
Yeah, that could be one option where you say to Hardik Pandya, come on, go at number 4. Let's give you more responsibility. Go out there and play a genuine innings, then just go out there and hit, boundaries from cold, which he's got, ability in abundance. But the ability to go there, knock the ball around and actually get the team to bat around you could be, could help him, So it's finding ways to get Hardik Pandya to fire, get his form back. And giving that extra responsibility could be one of them ways.
Absolutely. And Monty, if we speak about the other side, what is going wrong for Josh Butler? Because whenever we speak about somebody like Josh Butler, we expect some big innings. We expect him to fire and lead from the front. That seems to be not happening this season if we keep aside a couple of performances against Bangalore, of course. What is going wrong for Josh Butler, and how can he be back in the best of setup and play like a boss?
Well, with Josh Butler, we've always seen that even with the England team, he goes through a slight trot where, it probably be, a few games where you start thinking, well, is Josh Butler not going to perform? How's he going to? You just got to keep letting him do it, because there's one knock and he'll play an unbelievable innings, and then suddenly he'll be back up again. We've always seen it with Josh Butler. He goes through these kind of phases as a cricketer where, yeah, Rajasthan Royal fans will be concerned. They're thinking, why isn't Josh Butler firing? He will. I'll be shocked if he doesn't do it throughout the whole tournament, and he has just a whole tournament going like this. He's one sort of knock away, and then suddenly, we'll see the best of Josh Butler.
Absolutely. We expect Josh Butler to fire, and Josh Butler should fire really quick if Rajasthan Royals see themselves in the playoffs, because as of now, they've just won 2 out of 5 games that they have played in Mumbai. Now they are in Delhi, and it is very important to utilize these conditions, because these conditions, Monty, are pretty similar to what their home ground suggests, that is Jaipur. In Rajasthan, of course, it's very close to Delhi, so the atmosphere, the climate, the weather, it's almost same to what they experience almost every year. So fair to say, a better opportunity as they are in Delhi.
Well, the team that bats second actually tends to win. I think it's like a over 70% chance. So it doesn't surprise me when Mumbai Indians have won the toss and elected to field, because stats have shown the team that actually bats second tends to win more often. So Rajasthan Royals need to post a really good total. Sanju Samson will be all eyes on him. He's the guy who's got the 100. They'll be thinking he needs to get more runs as a captain. So this is, a big game for Rajasthan Royals. If Mumbai Indians can sort of somehow, squeeze a low total, I expect Mumbai Indians to win this match.
Well, absolutely. And the toss update is, as Monty said, Mumbai Indians have won the toss and they have opted to field first against Rajasthan Royals. Monty, something that we were speaking about has happened. Ishan Kishan has been dropped, and these were the words used by Rohit Sharma at the toss as well, that they have dropped Ishan Kishan from the side. That means he is fit, but because of his form, they have dropped him from playing 11, and Nathan Coulter-Nile from Australia comes into the playing 11. They were playing with just 3 overseas before. Now the 4th one comes into picture. How good is this decision by Mumbai Indians to keep aside Ishan Kishan, who was not performing well, and keep probably Nathan Coulter-Nile, who can give you 4 overs and also bat deep down the order?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really smart move, because what it does, it gives Hardik Pandya that extra responsibility that we talked about. And I think Mahela Jodhamordan is saying, well, we see you as a specialist T20 batsman. That's how I'm going to back you. You have the number 4 position. Go out there and express yourself. Show your talent. And hopefully that would free him up, knowing that the whole team is backing him. And then it also gives him the comfort. There's a strong batting lineup underneath him, so he knows that, look, if he does get out early, then, there is Nathan Coulter-Nile there is Kieran Pollard, to help as well. But we want to see Hardik Pandya at his best. That's what we want to see. And hopefully this strategic move by Mahela Jodhamordan will get the best out of him. And it's great to see that Hardik Pandya has been given the extra responsibility.
Only in India, when we say Rohit Sharma, Hitman Sharma, when it comes to Hardik Pandya, we say hard hit Pandya. So we expect him to probably deliver with the bat, of course. Just to read out the playing 11 of Mumbai Indians, Quentin, Decock and Rohit Sharma will be opening the innings when they will be batting, of course, in the second innings. Then, of course, Suryakumar Yadav at number 3, followed by Hardik Pandya at number 4. Monty wanted to see him at number 4. Now he's at number 4. I wanted to see him at number 4. He is playing at number 4. Then, of course, Kieran Pollard. The team has been backing him for quite some time. He is that go-to man for Mumbai Indians. Then, of course, Krunal Pandya. And then that inclusion. Nathan Coulter-Nile have finally found a spot in the side. He is playing today. First game in 2021 season. Jayant Yadav has been able to retain his spot in the side, followed by Rahul Chahar. So 2 good spinners for the side, along with Krunal Pandya. Then, of course, Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt. You cannot keep Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt out of the equation. Can you, Monty?
No, you can't, because that's really, Rohit Hitman Sharma go-to people after the 15th over, and that's why this is going to be crucial that Sanju Samson gets a good start, or even Josh Butler turns his fortunes, and the Rajasthan Royals see the best of him, because I think when you're playing Mumbai Indians, it's the 15 over match. That's how you see it, and then after that, whichever batsman goes and hits the low score. So if Rajasthan Royals want to win this match, and we expect it to be, a slightly sort of, the track that it is, it's being high scoring match. They need to get to at least to 140 to 150 by the 15th over. And they tend to say if you score, let's say, up to 40 runs in the first 6 overs, you tend to get to 150. So they need a really good start. They need, in the power play, they need to go gun blazing, get to 50 or 60 runs in the first 6 overs. Then they've got a great chance to post a good total. Because if they don't, to be honest, Mumbai Indians will win this, I think, because the team is very strong at the moment.
Absolutely, and since you were talking about power play, probably the best time to look at the playing 11 ones of Rajasthan Royals as well. Josh Butler and of course Yashasvi Jaiswal will be starting off. Yashasvi Jaiswal showed in the last game against Kolkata what he is capable of. This is the time that he needs to perform. He knows these conditions and he needs to perform in Delhi, of course. Followed by Sanju, Samson, and number 3, Shivam Dubey has been backed by the franchise to play at number 4. Very, very important spot, and he needs to deliver for the side. Then, of course, David Miller, followed by Rahul Tewatia, Riyan Parag, Christopher Morris. So, Monty, if you see this side, so many batting options. You see Josh Butler. We start from Josh Butler, and it eventually goes to Chris Morris. And there is not even one player you can say, okay, he's okay, she's fine. Because every player in this lineup, till Chris Morris, he can bat and he can bat really well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is it's a good batting lineup. They look strong on paper. It's about just working together, the top 6 knowing, how do we get to a good total, and, it's going to be options, the decisions they make against the likes of Rahul when he's going to obviously bowling superbly well. What do we do? We knock it around? Do we go after him? How do we play Jasprit Bumrah, Trent Bolt? That's going to be the decisions they make. And Kumara Sangakkara is going to be, atom. He would want them to make good decisions against the likes of the Mumbai Indian bowling lineup, which seems to be really strong at the moment. So that is where Rajasthan Royals are lacking at the moment. A good batting lineup, but they just seem to make the wrong decision at the wrong time.
Well, absolutely. They need to make the right decision at the right time if they want to be back on track. Monty, there are a couple of things that I actually observed in the playing 11, want to understand from you as well. When we talk about Mumbai's playing 11, they are playing with 3 spinners. And I'm talking about Jayant Yadav, Rahul Chahar, and then you have Krunal Pandya as well, who bowls 4 overs in almost every game that they play. Now, if we look at the Rajasthan's playing 11, they just have 1 spinner in form of Riyan Parag and probably Rahul Tewatia as well. So Riyan Parag is not their go-to spinner. He only bowls when one of the primary bowler is not able to deliver. So they are just they just have Rahul Tewatia in their side who they rely on to bowl 4 overs on the trot. So do you think this is a mistake by Rajasthan Royals to play just 1 good spinner in these conditions?
Well, this is the whole point, where we talked about Gopal earlier. Like, he's got a fantastic record against Mumbai Indians. And this could have, been that match where he said, well, let's bring Gopal in there. He knows how to sort of bowl well against Mumbai Indians. But sometimes, when a team is doing well, they've had a good win in the last match, it's difficult. You think, well, Rajasthan Royals didn't start very well, but they had a really good win. They've had a bit of a break. Part of coaching is actually back in the 11 that's done really well, and last game they done superbly well. It will be disappointing to, drop one of the players. So he's gone. Obviously, Kumara Sangakkara has gone with the 11 that he's backing at the moment. Let's hope the decision, pays dividends for him. If I was coach, I would have brought Gopal in the team, because we know that if you can get Rohit Sharma, Quentin Decock out really early, the game is, very much in Rajasthan Royals' favour. And when a bowler done so well against Mumbai Indians, not many around in the IPL, why leave him out?
Absolutely. I think a very, very good point made by Monty Panesar. Of course, you need to play the best of people who perform against the best of sides. But in this case, they have gone with the same playing 11. Let's go and move to our next segment, of course, and that is, of course, players to watch out for. Four players I need to speak about. The first one is Yashasvi Jaiswal, Monty. Whenever we speak about Yashasvi Jaiswal, he is able to deliver in the domestic circuit, but whenever it comes to playing in the IPL, it becomes difficult for Yashasvi Jaiswal to replicate those performances. We saw it in 2020, and we are seeing it again in 2021. Though he has played just one game, need to give it to him that he started off well, but that conversion that needs to come from Yashasvi Jaiswal hasn't been seen yet. What do you think? Can we expect a good knock today from Yashasvi Jaiswal?
Yeah, look, you've got to keep backing these players as well, and also, the players themselves. They've got to be honest where their game is. So the coaches, feel like, yeah, look, we're having a good, honest conversation, and we can definitely keep backing the player, because you look at Gaikwad from Chennai Super Kings. Huge concerns there, but I'm sure the likes of Mike Hussey, Stephen Fleming, who would have would have had these chats, would have had seen to him, right? Do we keep playing Gaikwad? Is he going to perform? And he's turned his performance around. So you're gonna, Jaswal is in a similar boat. Give him the back in, he will come good. But at what point, maybe this game he needs to do well. If he doesn't do well, possibly one more, and then you kind of think we've got to change it around. So the player himself feels that the coaches gave me a good back in, and also I was able to have honest conversations about my form. Why am I not playing well? Make a few changes, try the next game. And the best feeling is the coach backing a player who's not doing well and then performs superbly well. So let's hope that today is a great day for Jaswal.
Absolutely. If it is a good day for Jaiswal, then it can be a very good day for Rajasthan Royals as well. Because as Monty mentioned, the start will be very important. How many runs are you able to score in that first power play will actually define how much you will end up scoring in those 20 overs. One more player that I want to speak about is, of course, Nathan Coulter-Nile. Monty, why I want to speak about him? A side like Mumbai, it becomes a little difficult for them. Whenever we speak about the overseas players, they always have a question mark in their head. Will I be playing the next game? Will I be persisted in the next game as well? And that pressure is always there, because if you are Quentin Decock, the pressure is not there. But if you are a Chris Lynn, if you are a Nathan Coulter-Nile, that pressure is still there. Will I be a part of playing 11 in the next game, or they will be dropping me? If I am dropped, will I be the part of franchise in the coming years? That is also a big question. So what will be going in the mind of Nathan Coulter-Nile as he steps on against Rajasthan today?
Well, Nathan Coulter-Nile, he's got to play with a free mind. If you're going to think about, am I going to play the next game? Am I going to get 4 overs in today? What if I bat? The situation is too big for me and I'm not able to get the team over the line, and that's what I'm there for. You can't be thinking like that. You got to just take it ball by ball. He's got to go out there, enjoy the moment, really, back himself, and depending on the situation, make good decisions, back your ability. And that's what he's got to do. If you start thinking too far ahead, there's a lot of games left. We know in the IPL things change so quickly. You win a couple of games, the team's in a momentum. Look at Mumbai Indians, they're top of the table. Suddenly they lost a couple and they're mid-table now. So it's very much, the IPL is a huge tournament, and you shouldn't be thinking like this. You should be just thinking, right, whenever I get my opportunity, I want to make it count. I want to show that what my ability is all about, and that's it. You cannot think too far ahead. That is actually one of the sort of, the can't do's. When you have a list of can't do as a sportsman, that is, you must not do that, because sportsmen have a unique skill of just focusing what's in front of them, and that's it. And a sportsman must stay in that bubble. If they go beyond that, then suddenly you're not going to perform very well in the game that you're playing.
Absolutely. I totally agree to you, Monty, there, because if Mumbai ends up losing today's game, Rajasthan also have a chance to go in top 4. And if they go in top 4, it will be a slight down. side for a side like Mumbai Indians, because as of now they occupy the fourth position on the points table, and you never know that Rajasthan Royals can come in, and then the question mark will arise on Mumbai Indians whether they are going with the best playing 11 or not. So I think a great point made by you. Let's move on to our next segment, of course. That is, of course, best tweets before the game. What are people saying? What is that thing that they want us to answer? The first one is, of course, at this point in time, I want Mumbai Indians management to bring Saurav Tiwari in place of Ishan Kishan. Well, this is already sorted. Ishan Kishan is not playing today. Saurav Tiwari, I don't think he's the best of option, mostly because of the weight management, mostly because of the fitness level, Monty. Saurav Tiwari is not the fittest player in the Mumbai Indian side, and there are a lot of players waiting in the side to get a chance. Saurav Tiwari was backed by the franchise in the 2020 season, but not the great things did not come out of his bat. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, fitness is a huge role, and is also it's your hunger and desire. You look at the likes of Virat Kohli. Look how fit he is. How his discipline is. With the diet and the fitness, and that's one thing that all youngsters then keep aspiring to. He's a role model for all of them. So it's another sort of question mark where he's got to think, well, if I want to play for this IPL franchise, I've got to maintain my fitness, work hard at it. Because that is something the IPL itself demands. You've got to be fit. You got to the brand of IPL isn't just about skill. It's all about health, fitness, and high skill level. So these things are important. But also the likes of Josh Butler. He's supremely fit, but he's not performing well. So
Yeah.
this is the greatness of this IPL. That it keeps everyone so much going on, and people are interested in the game. And if Josh Butler does really well today, then suddenly Rajasthan Royals will be, waving their flags.
Well, that's the next tweet, Monty. I'm glad that you spoke about Josh Butler, because Straight Drive podcast have given us the stats for Josh Butler as how well he has performed against Mumbai Indians. 5 games, 278 runs at an average of 69.5. And just see that strike rate, 163.5. It looks like Josh Butler enjoys batting against Mumbai Indians.
Absolutely, and sometimes it is that sort of game. I've been as a cricketer where you want to play against certain oppositions where you performed well, and suddenly it starts your tournament. And maybe this was a timely break for Rajasthan Royals, knowing that the next game, for Josh Butler is against Mumbai Indians, and this is where he could just start firing, and suddenly we see the best of him. So fingers crossed that is the case, and I'm sure Kumara Sangakkara will be thinking the same.
Well, absolutely. If Kumar Sangakkara and Josh Butler can think the same way as we are thinking, then probably the equation for Rajasthan Royals can come out really well. Monty, the next segment is, of course, who is your pick? And it's a very difficult one, of course, because Josh Butler versus Quentin Decock. Who do you pick? Is it Josh Butler or Quentin Decock? From whom's bat can we expect more runs today?
Well, if you go from just statistical information, then we will go with Josh Butler. But if we then see how Quentin Decock, has been in probably better form over the last sort of couple of months, we may say Quentin Decock. Who knows? But one thing we do know, that 2 great players fighting against each other, it will be a great contest. Do not miss any of this game.
Absolutely. Do not miss this game just a few minutes before the start of the game. And now we move on to our second last segment, of course, and that is Fantasy Guide. कौन सी फैंटेसी टीम आपको बनानी चाहिए? फैंटेसी टीम अगर आप बनाते हैं तो मेरे हिसाब से सबसे पहले विकेट कीपर्स की बात करते हैं. मॉन्टी, मेरे दिमाग में जो विकेट कीपर्स आ रहे हैं, ईशान किशन हट चुके हैं, तो यू हैव टू कीप समबडी लाइक क्विंटन डिकॉक एंड जॉस बटलर. मैं दोनों की तरफ जा रहा हूं. So when it comes to wicket keepers, choosing 2 wicket keepers, Quentin Decock and Josh Butler. So these are the 2 wicket keepers I'm going with. Then, of course, when it comes to batsmen, Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav from Mumbai Indians, and of course, Shivam Dube and Yashasvi Jaiswal, I am backing from the Rajasthan Royals. So 2 wicket keepers, Quentin Decock and Josh Butler. 2 batsmen from Mumbai Indians, Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav. and two batsmen from Rajasthan Royals, Yashasvi Jaiswal and of course Shivam Dubey. So these are the four batsmen I'm going with. When it comes to all-rounder slot, going with, of course, Kieron Pollard and Nathan Coulter-Nile, expecting something really good out of them. And, of course, Chris Morris. So these are the three all-rounders I'm going with. And then three bowlers, Jaydev Unadkat, Chetan Sakaria and Jasprit Bumrah. So this is how I make my fantasy team. Who will be your captain in the fantasy team? Will it be Rohit Sharma? Will it be Josh Butler? Who are you going ahead with?
I'm going to go with Kieron Pollard. I quite like his captaincy. I think he's a calm captain. He's a big, brick-friendly giant. When the going gets tough, you kind of just want to run towards Kieron Pollard and just, knowing that, yeah, what shall we do now, mate? And he's calm. He's a very calm customer. So Kieron Pollard will be my captain.
Monty, final question. Who are you backing today to win? Mumbai Indians or Rajasthan Royals? Just 8 minutes to the game. So my final question to you, will it be Rajasthan? Will it be Mumbai? What are your thoughts?
I think Mumbai Indians looking to field first, knowing that the team that bats second, tends to win more games than often. Out of the 7 games, I think 5 games have won batting second. So, it's you can see that Mumbai Indians have done their homework, and I'm going to back Mumbai Indians.
Well, it will be very interesting game to see whether it's the Mumbai Indians or Rajasthan Royals. Fun on your way. 2 games awaits us on Thursday, of course. It's Rajasthan Royals up against Mumbai Indians, and then one more game coming up, of course, Delhi playing against Kolkata. A very interesting game coming up. Let's see what happens. Monty is going with Mumbai Indians. It will be very, very interesting if that actually happens. Sports Striker presents Mid-Wicket Live. Thank you so much, Monty, for joining us here on the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you joined us on Facebook or YouTube, thank you so much for that as well. We will be joining you guys very, very soon. Till then, goodbye.